Laser in klasie, Angel in spacie. 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 laser in place, anger in space, 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 laser in place, anger in space.
Oh, hi guys. Sorry. um, can you hear me? Okay, great. Super. So, welcome back. We are at the end of the day one of our hackathon, which is amazing. It's been such a busy couple of 3-4 hours since we started. A lot has gone on, so literally I haven't been particularly inside the working groups, but I know that all of you have, and you've been working super hard. So thank you so much for everything and for everybody for collaborating. I know we're gonna kind of like hear a little bit about the different working groups and what you've been up to. So yeah, just wanted to take this time to have a sense check of how everyone is doing, and say thank you, and yeah, like basically have a bit of an update. I know there's been like a couple of questions, especially at the start. So I hope things are a bit clearer. Sorry about the noise. I hope things are a bit clearer now in terms of the working groups and what you've been working so far, and also how tomorrow will fold. Basically, it will be exactly the same as today, but obviously, like the working groups are already formed. If there's more working groups that can be worked upon. So I know there's a few working groups that are actually empty for the time being. So maybe it's a chance for like tomorrow to actually jump into those working groups, and maybe actually more people will join tomorrow. So new working groups might form. As Diane just put on the chat, make sure that you register so we can get your wallet ID. Without your wallet ID, we cannot give out bounties or rewards, contributions, etc. So just please make sure that you do that, so that we can reward the community for the participation. I know the swapping has already started. I know that there's actually a lot of like art that has actually been sold already, which is amazing. Everything will go to sponsoring the hackathon. So yeah, James is just telling me we're about 400 out of 600, which is amazing. And yeah, I think I might pass it on to Diane to give a bit of a sense check of the working groups, unless there's any questions. Does anybody have like any specific questions or things that are not clear that we might want to focus on? No. Okay, great. Diane, I can pass it on to you.
So, hello everyone. So I know that a lot of people have been very, very busy this afternoon, and we as well. It's a very, very busy week and a very busy weekend. So we have few people from the different working groups ready to share what they have done. So it's fabulous. I heard that the group 5.4 and the group 1.1 have done amazing things already. The group Value X, they actually started very fast as well, so it's super cool. So we are here today, to give 5 minutes to each group, and also to receive some feedback. So it is the right time to ask questions to the community, to call for mentors, to call for experts, to call for members as well for the groups looking for more members. And yeah, that's it, I think. So I will actually call for the moderator from the group 1.1. 1.1, categories and sorting. If you can just click below and say that you actually want to speak, and then I will place you in the right place, in the right square. So just like, can you see it? Can you see things like popping up and coming and leaving? So if you you can't click. Yeah, actually, I know why. I've done a mistake. So sorry about that. So can you just write the name, and then I will find you. Okay, it will be easier. Very sorry for that. So what is your name? I need to get it, and then Erwin, super. Cool. So I'm putting you here. Super good. We've done it. Welcome.
I have my double screen set up like this, so I look weird, but.
Nice. So if you can, I think you can even share your screen. If you can't, you send me the link in the chat, and I will do it for you. And yeah, just like tell us what you've done, and I leave you the stage.
Button, but I can't find it because I don't know if I gave Google Chrome that access to do this. Can I join back through Safari? I'll be back in a second. Sorry.
Let's wait a little bit. Just, yeah, reminding you that we really need to actually collect your wallet. That's how we're actually sending the participant badge and yeah, the different bounties. You're back?
Yeah, I'm trying to try if I can do this through Safari, but I don't know if it's working yet, so I can't see it. So I'm going to send you a link then. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's easier. Just if you can just put it in the chat and I will share it for you.
Yeah. So it's
nice.
It's a sort of a collection of mockups. I wanted to also run a bit through our preparations, but then I'll just summarize by text. So yeah, we are the working group focusing on categories and sorting. So yeah, currently a lot of the pages, they have the works or the objects sorted by timestamp, and we've been looking into, okay, what kind of filters or categorizations could we add to make it a bit more easy to navigate. First, we reviewed some of the other platforms out there, just to get a sense of, okay, what possibilities are there, and then we started to create some mockups, and those are currently visible here. It's really by the team. Everyone, I think, made one or multiple mockups. Okay, so it's actually a bit of an interactive mockup. So hopefully you can be my arm over voice chat here. So I think we have in total 4 different concepts to share. So this first one that you see here is one that shows how on like an artist's page you can see like a basic filter where you can see like which objects are on the primary sale or on the secondary market. So here you could click on primary or secondary, and I think if you click there on primary, it will also respond actually. Yeah, like that. Or on collection, if you click on collection, then here, okay, but I don't see here in these mockups yet, but oh yeah, this one. Yeah, so here there is also, we experimented a little bit with, okay, which ones are, for example, to give a very small hint. So for example, the idea here was with some of the objects, you see the white circle, which then are actually on the secondary market. Please, the team, fill me in on this. Yeah, so this one is a second mockup. It's a bit small text here, but here we have also sorting on the right. So you can still filter by newest or oldest, or you can randomize the order on the page. And then on the left, you can say, okay, we want to see all or the ones that are open to be swapped. So yeah, please go to the next example. Yeah, this is a variation here where there are some more filtering options. So there is all available or for sale. If you go to the next one. Okay, yeah, this one is again the next one, please. Okay, another one. Yeah, this is the interactive thing where they are all showing together. Okay, can you go to the 9? Perfect. Yeah, so this was a concept where the artist is actually able to create tabs themselves and then categorize their objects under this. So this is also maybe overlapping a little bit with the gallery work, because I guess in the end it's kind of a similar thing. And then if we go back to the slide 1, we have a final one to show. That's a bit, hopefully it works. Yeah, so here it's also a mockup where maybe there are some social features added to that as well, or we have drop downs where maybe over the longer time period, the creators will add like many groups. So only having a single row of buttons might not be enough. So maybe a drop down there will help out in making sure that it stays future proof. So yeah, these are the mockups we created, and as you can see, we have quite a bit of variation. Some have a bit more like controls are a bit more explicit, whereas some are quite minimal. So we're very much looking for like the response from the community, where they see what they see as really the hicetnunc style for this kind of controls. So that's currently our sharing session. Yeah, maybe as people are thinking about their responses or questions, we have a bit of a start with setting up the development flow to this as well. So hopefully in the coming hours or tomorrow, we'll be able to prototype some of this as well in code. Although some of these things are quite, they need extra data in the API, so still debugging that side of it as well. Yeah, so thank you.
Super, so thank you. I see indeed, yeah, a lot of comments, a lot of replies. It's quite impressive in only, what, 4 hours, something like that. Yeah, that's Amazing. So I think the best is we are trying to find a way to actually give the mic to the audience, because I removed that without knowing it, but we're working on it. Until then, if there's someone from the audience wanted to actually give a feedback or ask a question, if yes, just please put your name in the chat and I will add you in the screen so you can speak as well. I'm checking the chat. Okay, so we have one question actually. Would it be worth adding the amount of editions remaining in the collection creation view, like 12 on 25?
Yeah, I think our process here is we're also still categorizing all of the different features. So I think all of the comments here in the chat are quite helpful to see which ones are worth pursuing or working out, and creating a sort of a pros cons per concept.
Nice. So I hope that your team members are taking notes of all that.
Yes, I hope so.
Someone is asking also, is there a way to test it, just to help actually with the testing? If you do, go in the Discord channel 1.1. If you want to help.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
So if there is no direct feedback, share a link for testing.
Yeah, we'll pick that up.
Nice. You know that you can also add, maybe we can add some polls and things like that. So if you want some direct feedbacks, you can add that in your channel, or you can go in the channel help, where we gather feedbacks. Cool. So thank you so much.
Yes, cool. Nice. Thank you.
So we have someone from the team 2.1. So who is part of the team 2.1? It's you. Super, Fabian. Great. That's actually working like that, huh?
Everybody. 2.1 is a one pony team. So I'm using the stage for an announcement. Please, please join the team. It's the next level of the object. There are some team members that didn't show up. So Jeremy, Erox, Pedro, Kozovic, please wake up and come and help me. But if they don't come to join the club, then I'm just diving into issue number 3, and that's the unlockable content, which that's a feature from OpenSea. They have this feature, and I like that very much. So I'm going to give that a try then, and there's not much to decide and to hassle about, because it's a very simple issue. So that's how I'm going to spend my night. But please join me if you think that's a nice feature as well.
Nice. So it's always good. It's never too late to find members. So it's really good that you did this call.
The day only started.
Yeah, indeed. That's why it's so good that it's so international, because we have people from Australia, we have people from Asia, we have people from South America, from North America, from Europe as well, and it's like non-stop. Nice. Okay, so now I'm calling someone from the group 3.5, which is about auctions. Joanie, is it for you? Yes, cool. Okay.
Hello. Okay. Hello. So there's also Willy guys. It's not just me in 3.5. So maybe Diane, you can add also Xine Diaz. Yay. And Johnny is coming. Cool. While they are coming in, I'm going to give a very short introduction to a tool I just released. I'm going to drop the link here in the chat so you can, maybe someone can share, do a screen share or something. So I wanted to do auctions for a long time, especially because before I was on Ethereum platforms like Super Rare, and I had buyers, and now they're not coming to hicathon because they wanted the auction option. And to have it on the blockchain, you need a special smart contract to make sure it's on the chain, and it requires some skills that I don't have. So I was in touch with Raphael and trying to understand the requirements. And it's actually a lot of work to, and it's something I can't do. So I used one of the SVG hack to actually have this object as a window into my website, into my server. And on my server, you have a little piece of code. It's based on PHP and JavaScript and CSS. And basically what it does is that it gets your wallet ID on hicathon, and it also reads the JSON file, and then you can bid. But it's not secured, it's off chain. So when you do this, it's actually a file that I can edit. But for now, I think it's good enough for myself and maybe for other artists to actually very quickly, it's kind of a draft still, but you can bid. So the current object is actually the auction itself. It's the artwork, so it's a bit conceptual. And I hope that tomorrow, I think I'm going to open source this the code and the content, and I really hope some of this code could be used for the website and to implement smart contracts. But I'm not sure if this can be just a separate project, if this could be of any help for the infrastructure of the blockchain, because it's very different. So yeah, that's it. This is more of a performance. I will give the code like tomorrow with some comments, so some other people may be able to use it. It's really sketchy and it's not really massively commented, so you need some PHP skills. So it's not ideal. So I really hope that a better solution can arrive soon, and in the meantime, people will be able to use this. This will turn into a timed auction tomorrow. So there will be a timer, and then there will be only a few hours to bid and to finish. And now maybe we can invite the other members of 3.5 because I was so busy today that I couldn't do much on the actual smart contract reflections, and but I know some people have been drafting design for the hicathon interface. So this was just a small experiment, and now I'm passing on to Xine Diaz, who maybe can say something, or Johnny.
Thank you so much. Could someone help me to present the presentation? Sorry if my English is not good.
Your link in the chat, and I'll do it.
Yes. Here it is. Well, all of the code, it's Johnny's code. So we are going to present you the design and the UI and UX experience or something. Maybe tomorrow we can add some changes. Do you see now the? Oh yes. Well, we have to add a new tab on the piece of the author navigate. So we add a new tab named offer. Then at that tab is where the author or the owner of the piece make up an action. Well, at the tab of the action, there you can make a bid, the auction. So you can put the reserve price, obviously in test, and the auction length in days. There's not a calendar or automatic length of the auction. So you can only put the days. Then, if you want to start the auction, once you complete all the information, you only have to click on the begin auction button. And the important part is that can only auction one edition at a time. So you only can do an auction to the piece one time. Once, I mean. And the other part is the auctions can be created on secondary sales. It's not exclusive to the creator, so the owners can make another auctions. Once the auction is live, there you can see all the bids which the collectors make. You can set the current price, and the owner can accept or decline, I mean, the current bid. So yeah, as the owner, then you can cancel the auction if you want. I think it's all. Once we work on the UI and UX with more intuitive buttons and more intuitive words or verbs, then it's done all the work, because Johnny's helped us a lot with his code. So yeah. Okay, I will check the questions.
Indeed. So yeah, do you have questions? So do you want to go on stage and ask a question? If you do, please write it in the chat. No, that's super nice. I hope you're feeling super proud of this amazing work. That's really nice. How does Tezos get locked when you place a bid?
So maybe I can say for the current tool I've made, it's not actually connected to the wallet. So it's more of a bid on the face. So you need to be verified to be able to bid. So that's a way to make sure that only people with a verified account that you can contact on Twitter will be able to bid. But for the future process on the blockchain, we will need a special smart contract, and then I guess we can lock that amount. But that's going to be serious work to be done from the devs and from smart contract people, which unfortunately I don't have those skills. So that's why it's not. That's why it's taking so much time to come. Because you need a sort of complex mechanism to secure the money and release it with the next bid. So this is something that we will need some help with, I think, from what I understand of the blockchain.
Nice. I'm adding Christoph on stage.
Hi there. Can you hear me at all? I was just going to ask just about the auctioning that, as has been questioned in the chat, that it could be quite an issue if the auctions aren't locked. I'm just wondering if a quick sort of workaround for that would be if you're able to stop specific people, stop specific users actually putting a bid down if in the past they put bids down quite regularly and not actually sort of paid the amount that they've won. For example, if we can't connect it to the wallet, I'm just trying to think from an artist's perspective and a collector's, it could be quite frustrating if bids are sort of put through and it's not if bids are placed and they're not fulfilled.
With the current system I made, it's actually very simple to sort of blacklist a user, but this is just a hack. It's not really taking any benefit from the blockchain. I think the future system that will be using smart contracts, then everything will be automatic. Like if you are familiar with Super Rare, I think when you place a bid, your money is locked. So if the artist accepts, the money is taken. So you as the buyer cannot refuse to buy, if you see what I mean. But again, this is a complex process that I don't have any of the skills required. But with the blockchain, this is something that can be solved really, really easily.
Great. I like the first looks of it already. It looks really great, and yeah, you've come a long way in that. I've been following it on Twitter, and it's definitely something that this platform could really do with, to be honest.
Cool. Well, I guess the next steps, now that we have a sort of UX proposal for the real site, maybe the next step will be to get some people really familiar with smart contracts. I think Matt Delaurier sort of knows a little bit about this, and he might join us tomorrow. Because, yeah, I have very limited skills, so we need smart contract experts, indeed.
Yeah, I think there's a question as well around making an offer feature to be added to non-auctions too. I think that was probably more to Zyme.
If there are any more questions, but there are probably a lot of groups and people waiting, so I don't want to take too much time.
Okay, so let's jump in the next group then. Okay, so I'm removing everyone from stage. So we have, for the next group, a quite exciting topic, which is metaverse and beyond. Imagining collections going in other places, virtual, spatial, or physical. And we have actually a lot of people in this group: Luca, Young, Richard, Fivos, and H. So who is actually speaking for this group? I'm waiting for your name in the chat. H. Great. Good, so you're on. H. You're on stage, you can unmute yourself.
Hi. So, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. So, yeah. We had a really, really amazing this works if I art gallery customized experience, etc. There can be unlimited options here. Since the early 2000s, we've seen many adaptations of this using platforms such as Second Life, Decentraland, CryptoVoxels, Mozilla Hubs, etc. But they all have their own methods of access, whether it's VR headset or through an internet browser or even a smartphone. The market is really, really saturated, and there's already endless options when it comes to virtual nations and non-linear gaming or alternate reality experiences. We didn't want to create something that's, already existing and just like recycle or regurgitate something that already exists. So the concept is to bring all of the ideas together and simplify the experience as much as possible, to provide a skeleton so that we can leave it up to the creator for personal interpretation, always staying authentic to the emerging underground hicetnunc community. And yeah, just basically giving them the framework to make their metaverse how they please. So we came up with this visual representation, which is like the gates. So the gates to the hicetnunc portal are open. You're getting the same authentic grassroots experience, but this time it's even more immersive, with a more well-rounded and encompassing social aspect that incorporates the transactional culture of NFTs. I'm seeing the reactions at the bottom of the screen. So it's like a more well-rounded, encompassing social aspect. It incorporates the transactional culture of NFTs. So swapping objects and governance tokens with other users. It's like gamification, but it's like inherently real life at the same time. That's why we call it something like non-linear gaming. The best part is it's going to be more accessible than other realms. It's not going to lag. We want it to keep it really like layout wise, no fuss, no overcomplication. We really want it to look like hicetnunc. You can see my masterpiece here, which is the circle launchpad, we've called it. So if you can see what I was talking about earlier with the gates to hicetnunc, you will have the gates open for you. If you guys know Nikita Freeboyd, you've seen his work. He has this work called the Carousel, and basically it's like you can use hicetnunc as the way to jump through the portal of hicetnunc into the virtual realm. So we wanted to create something a little bit like that. I was really inspired by his work. And yeah, so we want to, the smartphone, it's already an extension of the human body. Whether we like it or not, the smartphone, let's make the hicetnunc community accessible as possible so that you don't necessarily have to go ahead and buy all this expensive headgear to be able to jump into the metaverse. We can incorporate virtual reality, extended reality, augmented reality features, but like, let's just focus on the skeleton, like the initial framework first, and then go into it. So we have the circle launchpad, and then from there you can see the links. So let's have a look. So everyone's dealt the same equal cards. There is no buying land plots where money matters. Is that the new logo? I hope not. There's no buying land plots like money matters, like where you have a larger space if you have more Tezos, nothing like that. Everyone has the same cards. You cross through the gates, you enter the circle launchpad. From here, you can access the map and you can have an inventory. Yes, this is a huge project, so we definitely need a lot of people helping out. From here, you can access the map, the inventory. Within the Circle Hub, you can have strange and mysterious interactions with other users. I don't know if you guys know the game called Sky, where it's like an anonymous reaction. And what we discussed about hicetnunc that we really like is there is no search feature. So you come across, you trip across and stumble across lots of different amazing artwork that you didn't look for. So we want that same kind of interaction. What else? So when you're in this circle, the circle launchpad, it's like the hub, it's like the lobby. And we were thinking to somehow have links that are implanted within that, so that link can take you to each user has a planet. We've called it planets so far. So you can be taken to, each person has a planet, and they can do with that planet what they like. The good thing about what we want is that we want it to not be messy, and we want it to always be in the here and the now and updated. So perhaps these links could be implanted into the Circle Launchpad, but maybe they have time limits. So I enter the Launchpad and I put my link to my VR world, and then maybe it expires after 1 hour. But that's always it, keeping it fresh, keeping it updated. But then, of course, maybe you can find a link to my virtual reality world in my profile. We'll see how we get over that. Just trying to keep this as short as possible. You can definitely read up on this and have a look at the full write-up and all the steps that we've come up with. We need a lot of help on this if you really want to make a metaverse that is hicetnunc, the hicetnunc metaverse. We want to keep it really sleek, really distinctly similar to the original hicetnunc website, black and white writing. It has a coding feel to it. The chat feature itself, really simple. I wrote, what if we just had voices emerging from a circular black hole? And then, you could use some kind of world builder to export 3D objects. Like I said, if you check out Nikita's work, he has this piece which is like a floating disc. What if you could jump onto the floating disc and walk around on the floating disc, and that would be your planet? And then, we were talking about how, like, the capacity of how many people could be in a space at one time, whether you want an invitation to enter, unlockable content, avatars. We spoke, maybe it's like Club Penguin, where there's a standard framework, like you have your penguin and you can add clothing to it. And we could have clothing shops, like a NFT wig store, and you could swap out your items within your inventory. Or or whether you want to completely turn your avatar into like a Frankenstein creature, if you so wish to, you know, like it's all about self-expression, and we would want to see how we can do the avatars. We just want to make sure that we don't do something that's already done and just keep it as simple and sleek as possible. So that's my part, pretty much done. And then, you know, we have some steps to how we want to continue this on. If I don't know if some of you maybe know me from Clubhouse, I have a group on Clubhouse called hicetnunc X Reality. So if you want to, you know, join on there, we already have been having the discussion for a couple of weeks now. Some of the users on there have been creating their own galleries on Mozilla Hubs, and it's been a really fun experience. Yes, Clubhouse gang, it's been a really fun experience so far. So yeah, what we were discussing in the group today, which it was such a great experience, was we actually need developers now to come in and do the coding and actually make this happen. We have the visual, we have all of these philosophical questions and, you know, what we want to happen in there, but we need people to come and build it. So please feel free to drop in the Discord. I think that's probably where we're going to run most of the discussion. And I said to the group, I said, I'm going to be like the hamster in the hamster wheel. And, you know, if anyone wants to reach out and let's get this going. Yeah, any feedback? I would love to hear it. Oh, thank you so much for your claps.
Okay, well, hello. I didn't really want to be put on here. It's just a simple question. But I already got it answered actually in the chat. So yeah, face reveal, ooh, whatever. I'm in my parents' basement, so sorry about that as well. Yeah. Anyways, okay, other question. Metaverse, you're looking for someone to develop it. What kind of style are you going for? You're going for like Second Life kind of 3D, human-like models, that kind of stuff, or more of a like, as you said, Club Penguin or Roblox, or that kind of stuff. Very simple, not very. Well, it doesn't take much energy, but it also limits you a bit in your self-expression. Low res, I understand, but how will you achieve this low res? Will it be this pixel art kind of thing? Is it going to be like voxel art? Is it going to be 2D images with 3D models on them? How is it going to be?
I just heard the second part of your question. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. So someone answered actually in the chat, so that's why I asked the second part of it. I was asking, how will it look? Like, what kind of models are you going to use? How are you going to focus on it? You want to keep it low res, high efficiency, right? So how are you going to do that? Are you going to go into a specific style? Like many indie developers use pixel art to achieve this stuff, while others use voxel art, which is basically 3D pixels. And, you know, there's many opportunities to do this. How are you planning to do this?
We discussed things like crypto voxels, and we actually said that it was very clunky. We want it to be very sleek, very easy to use, just like hicetnunc. So we like the idea of this circle in the middle, having like a base where you can then, you know, perhaps follow the Easter eggs or click on the links to then teleport into other people's worlds. And we want to give people the opportunity to design what they want with it. So if you have the capabilities of making a whole 3D world, which is animated, and plus it has a sound system and all of that, then you can do that. But if you just want to have an alternate way of presenting your creations, then I guess you could, if you wanted to join me in my world and I just have my 2D pieces of artwork up on a wall, at least you can then join me and I could then via voice chat tell you about the pieces rather than you just being on my hicetnunc creations page and looking at it like that. It's like an alternate way.
Yeah, but so you're saying it's going to be three-dimensional, so the world itself is going to be in 3D with a free camera, as far as I understood now. It's not going to be locked or anything, and the models themselves, like the models that you can use for your own user, your own avatar, how are you planning to keep those things like the base foundation of the whole game? What kind of style do you want to give this so that it's still effective in running smoothly?
Well, we had an experiment with Mozilla Hubs. And
I do not know Mozilla Hubs, I'll be honest. So
Okay.
you'll have to.
So we can jump into, I think I'll post a link then on the Discord and everyone can jump into the Mozilla Hubs and we can all have a little go and play around with it in there. And I would love to get some feedback from you guys on what you think about it and do you think that you could do something similar with the resources that we have at hicetnunc. But that was really fun. So in Mozilla Hubs, you have your 3D avatar. You can use it on a desktop. I think you can use it with a VR headset too. And you can, copy and paste images from your desktop in there. You can live stream video of your webcam. You can get a pen and you can start doodling. There's lots of things you can do, but let's keep updated on the Discord for sure.
Okay,
exactly.
Great.
I was about to say it. Let's jump in the and we go directly in the topic 3.2. So I'm adding someone else on the stage. Thank you, guys.
Thank you too.
Hello. So the topic is the sales sharing, and that's a topic that was very interesting to me because I have a friend who is an artist and he's publishing a lot on the website. And we were thinking about doing some collaborations together and how to retribute and stuff. So this was very interesting to me. And this project is kind of advanced, actually, because Ztepler, who is one of the developers on our team, he already made a plugin, kind of a smart contract application, actually, which could already be functional. So we are starting from something that already has a technical foundation. And this makes it quickly advanced. So I'm going to show you my screen. I don't have the icon to share my screen.
Put the link in the chat and I will do it for you. We will solve that tomorrow, hopefully.
What is the link? Send it in the chat. So can't share my screen, right?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not working. It's actually better if you just share the link in the chat.
Okay, so I'm going to
Solving few things here.
No. Okay, I get it. I'm going to paste it and do a link.
Super, thanks.
Okay. Wait, because I had kind of a presentation, so I have to screen everything. Okay. So while I'm doing the screens, what we are trying to do here is a new feature called collaborations. And collaborations are a special address which allows users to mint and to sell and share the profit. So basically, what's happening is there is a smart contract which is created, and this smart contract allows to get a revenue when selling the NFT and share this revenue to other addresses. So I'm going to show that. Okay, one last screen and we are good. Okay. That's it. So what is being shown here is the component that is being made by ztepler. So the wording is not the final wording, because as he's a good developer, he kind of put some technical terms, but you can imagine that instead of select and originate, you would have use and create collaboration. That collaboration, what it means is that you will create an item. This item is the collaboration. And when you sign in to this item, everything you will be minting will be issued by the item. So that means the collaboration is a separate page from your profile. But this collaboration, everything that will be sold will be shared according to what you will be filling here. So you have a first participant with the shares, second participant with the shares. You will be able to add participants. So I will now upload another screenshot. Sorry, which is more like the mock-up of what we are trying to do. This project has been considered as something we can finish by the end of the hackathon. So it's important to keep that in mind. We have an MVP, and there will be some improvements that are possible, but we are trying to have an MVP which will allow to create the smart contract, so to create the collaboration item, to log to the collaboration item, and to mint. The retribution system is already working. So, for example, ztepler, if you hear me, can you please send to me the link to that profile you made? Because actually we already have a profile on hicetnunc, excuse me. Okay, I have it. We have a profile which is the experiment of ztepler. So watch this. This profile, if you click, it starts with KT1, okay? This profile it has only one object, and if you buy this object, the retribution will be split between people that belong to the contract. So basically, this is kind of a test for the system, for a system which is already almost finished. I'm sorry, now you can put the previous link and I can kind of explain to you. Thank you. I'm sorry, everything is called unknown. That must be kind of difficult. So the page will look at like this. First, you create your collaboration. We are expecting to work with tzkt to have a username and description of the collaboration, exactly like a user profile. So that means you could work with like 2 other artists, and you know that one of you 3 is going to be doing the main work. For example, this is going to be a drawing with 3D inside. So you have someone making the drawing, and he will clearly get more shares because he will do the final drawing. But you can have a 3D artist which will help him, and he will take a part of the shares. And with that system, you create the collaboration and you give each participant the share value. And that value is split. For curators, that would mean you have to mint the item. So I think we didn't think about this use case, but it's really interesting. The collaboration for collectors can be a really good issue, and can bring many people to the system, I think, and maybe to the Tezos, because an art gallery or multiple art galleries could unite and share, like buy a collection, share the revenues to survive, and keep being able to expose some objects that belong to the collaboration. So you don't need to have every NFT to expose. So this is a good idea. We will think about this. So right now we fixed the system which is about a maximum of 10 users, because we don't know if it's going to work with more. But we could imagine a system with even more participants, like let's do a collaboration with 1,000 person, and everybody can mint, and everybody gets retributed for the whole system. There are lots of possibilities. So you can add your participants. On the MVP, it will be limited to 10. After that, and let me show you a quick screenshot. Okay. After that, you can imagine that you will have something like this. Yeah, it's a new profile. It's a new profile. So this is what would the menu look like after we deploy and after it works. So you see that now you have collaborations. When clicking on collaborations, you will either create or sign to your collaboration. When you sign in, you can see that your address is different. So it's just that thing. Okay. And that's it. Wait. And you can see on the top of your screen that you, as a user, are logged to the collaboration. So I think maybe 2 or 3 more informations, and then we can go to the questions if you have some. Right now, the system only allows the person who created the collaboration to mint under the collaboration. So let's imagine the MVP is only this. V2 or V3 will be a version where everybody can mint on the collaboration. Another improvement would be that you could come back and change the collaboration for the future. This is particular because it's supposed to not move. But let's imagine a future where NFT has really legal fundamentals, and you work with somebody, but you find out that this person he stole art from another person. Maybe you have to change this contract. We're also thinking about a signing system, which means before, let's say you have 5 users which are concerned. Before anyone can mint under the contract, everybody has to sign the contract to be okay with the terms, to be okay with the shares. So this it's not the MVP feature, but we can imagine a system where this contract is almost legal because of that. Everybody accepted to collaborate at some shares. Everybody can mint under this contract, which is like a label, actually. It's almost a label. You could do that for music and stuff. And everybody can post. Everybody shares the revenue. These revenues, they are used to make more art, and they can sell art. Let's imagine collectors can do that too. So thank you. The percentage, we are looking for that, making something that you can edit in the future. But in the first version, it won't be possible. Yeah, with music, it's crazy. And I want to thank Ztepler. I want to thank ... And I want to thank Kthorn, which are in our team, which is an awesome team. Yeah, really great. Really, really great. We have really great persons. Yeah. My stage is very small. You can see my bed right here. So, I think my apartment is as big as a stage, actually. Thank you, guys. It's group 3.2, yes. Yes, it works on secondary market. Yeah, of course. The royalties are shared. And buy Underlax works, guys. Underlax. No, we don't take any fee. But if you want to send us some money, feel free. You can find our wallet. Yeah.
Okay, so we have hello. Can you? So now we have the team 10.2. How to make tools for hicathon.
Yeah, can you add marching square
Thanks.
too?
Who?
Marching square.
Martin. Good. I'll do it.
Go ahead.
You really took me off guard. I didn't even realize I was on stage. Hi everyone. So our subject was tooling and how to make it more accessible and how to build tools around hicetnunc, which is already the case. Many people have built tools which solve little pain points and features that don't exist yet on hicetnunc. And so we've been talking about what it meant to build tools and also what was needed to make people able to build more apps around hicetnunc. And it boils down to 4 points mainly: educating people, tutorials on how to make tools, guidelines on what not to do and what to do in general, just in a less technical way, what to build, and also having the technical capacities, meaning a good API. And that's what Marching Square is going to talk about now.
Yep. Thank you. So if I cannot share my screen, I will share a link in the chat. So here is what I built. Some have already seen part of it on Twitter last week for the preparation work. So basically, the issue we have with DZKT API or Better Call Dev is that there are raw APIs for the blockchain, and some of the data from hicetnunc is not stored on the blockchain. It's on IPFS. So I used DeepTop by Better Call Dev by Baking Bad to create an indexer and pull data from IPFS as well. And this website that I built for this hackathon is example tools. The first two are really solving pain points that people have been having, and I haven't seen things to solve them yet. But using an indexer, it's extremely easy. And each of these tools generates code that you can use on your own website. So if you take a look, for instance, at the first one, if you could click on the first one, you need to enter your wallet address or someone's wallet address. No worries, it's not doing anything weird. And then it will show you all of your artworks, so pieces that you created and that are either currently on sale on the secondary market or that have been sold and at what price. And if you scroll to the end of the page, or to the bottom, here you have ready to copy paste JavaScript that will generate the same query. It can be parameterized with your with any wallet address, just an argument in a function. And if you don't do it right now, but if you could copy paste this in your browser console, then it would give you the same table as above, or at least the JSON for all the data in this table. And yet, these are just example of what we could build and how people could easily embed data on their website or build applications on top of hicathnunc. And the indexer is not yet open source. I'm working on it. This website is open source. You can find the code for these examples on GitHub. And yeah, what Pamisel didn't say earlier when he was talking was that he's maintaining hicathnunc.tools, and having a collection of tools is extremely important for hicathnunc as an ecosystem. I think that's one of the best thing to say about the blockchain as a technology is that it's an open API. Anyone can use it. Anyone can build things on top of it. And this is just an example of how to do this and how to create a bunch of tools to help the community and create new use cases. That's it for me. Mario is asking, can this indexer also be used to speed up the queries that hicathnunc is doing on the homepage itself? Yes, it could. It could be shared. All this code can definitely be shared with the hicathnunc team. And yeah, we could definitely do this. I know that they are also working on something similar. I don't know how hicathnunc indexer will work, what they are building. They are planning of using MongoDB. That's all I know. But yeah, it's very similar, I guess. Or we could join efforts, but that's not up to me. Mikkel or Diane, can you please add Pamisel back? I think he has a question to answer. Are you planning to add the test links with TZ wallets? Oh, good idea. I haven't thought about it. Yeah, it's doable, I guess. Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, I was kicked off, but I've been talking to myself for 2 minutes. I just wanted to say, yeah, it's been super cool to, just as a meta commentary, it's been super cool to see in less than 2 months so many tools being built. It's less coherent and cohesive than if hicathnunc was a centralized business, I guess, but it's like much more creative and much more, how could you say, like there's more to it than I think a simple team in a startup could make. And yeah, the thing is, it's kind of the Wild West for now, and that's why we try to have to build things like what Marching Square made, or having something more coherent, like the tools list on the GitHub, or all the little cowboys there, and hicetnunc.tools to have a point for the community together, and for tool builders to see how to do that. So my final point is we had also Creative Coding, who is not here because he had something to do right now. He had a workshop to attend, but he's creating tutorials to I don't know if he's going to do videos or text, but essentially a bunch of documents that will help people build around hicetnunc in a way that can be either an app outside of hicetnunc or an app that tries to be a future hicetnunc core feature. So that's the future, and it's cool.
Then I think that's it. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, guys, so we have one last group. So who is actually part of the 7.1 make galleries and collections available to everyone? So I see actually a lot of people in this group. So who wants to jump on stage? Yeah, last group. Who is it? Shall we keep on doing it all night long or all afternoon long? So we actually reached out to different groups without getting feedback. So that's why okay, 9.4. So do I have someone from 7.1, which is about collections? Transmano? Okay, good. I'm putting you on stage. Putting you on stage now, okay?
Okay. Hello. Hi. A little bit nervous. Sorry for my English. I'm going to share with you the link so you can share our presentation. Okay. So we were focusing on the galleries feature. So that's where our subject. Today, one of the main problems is that galleries are kind of static. And so we were thinking about different alternatives to make them more dynamic and to make the life easier for the developers who have to create these galleries. So yeah, that's the document. Okay, so we tried to define the different use cases we were going to address. So one is the public galleries. So those are the galleries that are managed by the admin users. Those galleries are today that are including the hamburger menu you find on the upper right corner of your screen. And so the idea is, okay, how can we get those galleries more visibility or make those more dynamic and make the life of the developer more easier for them. But we went a step further, and we think that maybe this concept of the galleries could be also applied to the profile user as well. I think there are certain overlapping with what the first, I think it was the first group was presented about the categorization. But yeah, I think defining galleries could be also applied to the profile user, right? Because as a creator, maybe for me, it's important to create galleries to showcase my work, or also for collectors. So we all the time we have in mind both profile users, I mean, not only creators, but also collectors, and the possibility of create galleries or collections. I think that for both types of user will be important. And then we added a third type of use case, which is improving the browsing experience. So can we move forward to the next slide? Okay, so the first use case. Yeah, next one. Yeah, one of the ideas, one of the things we saw that maybe the galleries are hidden in this hamburger menu. We think that maybe we can give them more visibility. So we think that maybe at least 1 or 2 galleries can be included in the home page before the feed. We took this idea maybe for what Calamint is doing. So the idea is to include at least 1 or 2 galleries on top of, above the feed of the home page. So we could have like a feature artist gallery. We don't know exactly what is the criteria to select what are the feature artists. We think that maybe the feature artists could be, okay, all the artists with the most upvoted, or maybe we can do a random selection. But I think that maybe including like this feature artist as a gallery on top of the feed could be a good idea. And then we can also have these curated galleries, right? Because today the galleries are like buried in this hamburger menu. So I don't know if someone goes and click on the galleries link on this hamburger menu. So we were thinking about this, and we think that we should give this more visibility. So maybe we can have like curated galleries. We're thinking like an admin user will be responsible for creating these galleries. Today, this is done by a JSON file. So an admin user is created a JSON file with all the objects. But we think that this could be more dynamic, right? For example, maybe we could have like 10 curated libraries, and maybe every week we could add a new gallery, and so the oldest one could be removed from the list, and every week add a new one. And we still need to define the criteria to select that, but definitely we have to give more visibility to the galleries and make this more dynamic. Okay, we can move forward then. So this is the idea, is to include this maybe on top of the feed or the homepage, right? Next to the next slide. Yeah, this is just a proposal. We spent a lot of time just discussing ideas, so we didn't have enough time to make a proper UI. But the idea is we want to provide an UI for the administrator in order to create these curated libraries. So maybe they could just select the object IDs and create a JSON file in order to automatically create. We understand that we need to make the life of the admin user easier. So maybe it is just a matter of create a page only visible for admin user, in which they just paste the object IDs and the JSON file is going to be automatically generated, right? So this is just an idea for the admin user in order how to create these curated libraries. But the whole point behind this is to give more visibility. I think this will definitely improve the experience and will give more visibility for our artists. Okay, move forward. Okay, user case forward. use case number 2. I think in this use case we have kind of overlapping with the first group, but I think the same functionality we are providing for this public, we are calling this public galleries, right? But we think that this functionality we are providing for the public galleries could be also applied to the profile galleries. And we divided this in 3 use cases. Galleries for creators. As a creator, I would like to be able to organize all my content in different galleries instead of having all the list of my creations. So I think this is an important thing. If I'm a collector, it applies the same, right? I would like to be able to organize all the items I have collected in galleries or collections. We try to keep in mind that our object user are both, not only creators, but also collectors. So I think the gallery functionality could apply to both, to not only to creators, but also collectors that wants to showcase their collections, right? And maybe after discussing these 2 possibilities, we thought that, yeah, maybe we could have like a generic gallery that combines both, not only galleries to showcase my creation, but also galleries in which I can mix the content. No? I can mix creations that I minted together with objects that I have collected, right? Okay, let's move forward. So this is use case 2. This is a profile page. So we are not talking in this stage, we're not talking about this public galleries, but now we are talking about galleries that applies to a profile, a user in particular. So I think for creators, it's a very important use case to be able to organize the content, to define what items I want to feature on my profile page. So maybe the idea of defining galleries to organize my collection, I think we think is key. So maybe we can define different galleries, and one of these galleries we can set a special attribute to say, okay, these are going to be the feature artwork. So the one of the galleries I have defined could be shown above all my creations, like this strip, this kind of carousel, to showcase my feature artwork. And could you move forward, Diane? And then, yeah, the thing is, we thought that maybe this gallery feature can be integrated to the creation tab. We don't think that maybe galleries should be considered as a separate tab. Why? Because for certain users, maybe they don't want to create galleries, and they want to use the current layout and display all their creations in this grid, and that's it, and that is good enough for them. But for some other artists, it would be important to create galleries. So maybe this is just a sketch. We spent a lot of time discussing the functionalities. We didn't have enough time to create a proper mock-up, but these 2 squares you see here is like a toggle button. So by default, as a creator, as an artist, you could define, okay, what is my default way to display my artworks? So I want to display all the pieces in a grid, or maybe I want to display all the pieces organized by galleries. So we think that this is something that maybe should be configured by the artist. In some cases, the artist will display all the pieces, and in some cases, the artist will want to display the pieces organized by galleries. And the same for collectors. We wanted to think of the collectors as well. So the same pattern applies to the collector. Maybe the collector will have to organize all the items collected into collections, right? So we were thinking in these 2 words: galleries for artists, and maybe collections for for collectors, right? And yeah, I can define, okay, I would like to have, by default, display everything the way we are displaying the artworks today, or maybe I would like to display the artworks organized by collector. Okay, the use case 2 is profile gallery management. It's apply, okay, how I'm going to manage, how I'm going to create these galleries. So in that case, we are proposing to have a third tab called galleries, but only for the management task. We think that it is important that the gallery, the displaying aspect of this feature should be included in the creation tab, right? But of course, we are going to need a separate tab to manage, to create collectors, to remove collectors, to change the content. So this is just a proposal. We still need to work a little bit more on this, but this is a proposal. So to create a collector and then a collection, and then once you have all the collections created, when you can assign one of your either creations or collected items to one of the existing galleries or collections you have, right? And this is another way to display collections. Yeah, this is a work in progress. You see, this is another way where we were thinking about displaying galleries or collections. We think that this is a very important feature for artists and for collectors. We think that this is a feature that should be integrated to the creations. It shouldn't be considered as a separate tab, right? Because for artists, showing or organizing their creation into collections, it's key, it's very important. Maybe for some other artists, it's okay the where we are displaying the artworks, the NFTs in this grid format, but we think this is key, and we need to give both the creators and the collectors the flexibility to organize their contents the way they want, either as in galleries or collections, right? Okay, I don't know if there is another slide. Could you move forward, Dan? No, okay. That's the last one. Yeah. The third use case, yeah, that one is, we were thinking also in some options and some alternatives to improve the user experience when browsing the collections, the creations. We think that unfortunately we don't have any dev resource.
Very soon.
Sorry, what?
We really need to jump to another one. We have 5 more groups.
Okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, this one is just to improve the adding additional information to each piece. You can see that maybe associated to each piece, we can see the number of editions, the price, and I think that is pieces of the information that is important to include when visualizing the different artworks. That's it. Thank you, Diane. Bye-bye.
Back, we have 5 groups, so let's try to be fast. So the next one is 7.2, and I'm calling Miguel. So I hope it's Miguel. Yeah, 20 minutes left, thanks. Oh, it's Andreas, 7.2? Is it? Okay, Andreas. Super, got him. So I'm about to put you on stage. Thanks.
Great. This work group 7.2 is also all about galleries, basically. So we're kind of building on the work of 7.1, and we have exactly minimal galleries for exhibitions. That was kind of the topic of our group. We've discussed basically a lot of the same issues as 7.2 one, but then we kind of try to pivot a bit and do something a bit different that is even more minimal. And that reminds me, now that I learned about object.gallery in the chat, that reminds me a bit of object.gallery. I'm going to post a link in the chat now to our Figma document. So if someone could put that up on the screen here, that would be lovely. Because then I can show a couple screens. There we go. If you can, I think you can see down there, there is like the minimal gallery, as we call it. And if you can go down a bit, downwards, there we are, and zoom in. So the idea basically is that you, pretty similarly to objects.gallery that I didn't know before, can kind of put in some object numbers just like as a list, or even sync it with your wallet, give the gallery a title, give a description, and then select some of the works you have in your collection, which then would be displayed in like a nice minimal gallery type of way. And the thing that we kind of focused a lot on here was trying to make that accessible to, well, yeah, to galleries and museums, that they could have this on display on like a screen, like a kind of a permanent exhibition of works from hicetnunc. So that we think would be really, really great to have. And this is kind of a nice and small external tool that we might even imagine well, being able to develop in the course of the next 2 days. So yeah, if you have any comments or feedback, feel free to add questions to the chat. Otherwise, I just gotta finish this presentation for now. There was also this other idea in the group of making a minimal gallery for audio works, which kind of is a radio type of hicetnunc radio type of thing. So this is also very much in the making still. We need to see what that's all about. But yeah, then I'm gonna close for now. If there's questions, I'm happy to take them. Miguel is pursuing the radio. That's great. Cool. Thank you very much. And I guess it's time for the next group. Let's get that through. 8.2 up next. Wonderful.
Indeed. And we have Tagashi Studio for the 8.2 about verified users. That's definitely something that we are all waiting for. So I'm adding Tagashi Studio now on stage.
Hi, can you add jet lag? He's the leader.
Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
And potentially see me? Yeah, we're good. Everyone's all right. Cool. To present, I have to press the. Are you able to present it, Tagashi? Are you able to run the PowerPoint?
I'm not.
Okay. Where is the function to share my screen? If possible, if anyone can help me out with that. Put the link in the chat. All right. It's not super finished, but you guys can
just share. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
It is. Okay. So once everyone's opened it up, if you want to start on slide 1, we started the project of hen verification. So that's basically deciphering whether we wanted to verify artists based on who they are, or what they provide to the site, basically, whether they're a creator or a collector. So we started off organizing with the 5 W's and the 1 H: who, what, where, when, why, how. Of course, why we do it: to improve credibility and integrity, and to kind of combat copy minting and freebie hoarding, which is a big issue in the community right now. We're on the 3rd slide, by the way. Sorry.
Can we get
yeah.
the screen share going?
I can't screen share. I don't know it.
Dan?
Does it have to be on the same tab?
No, I think the moderator has to do it.
Oh, okay. There it is. Okay, so if you can go back to slide 3, if possible. Good. Can everyone see it? Okay. So can we start from slide 3? I think that's where we are at. All right. So again, we kind of started tackling this to improve credibility and integrity and combat the 2 things that were mentioned in the issues that needed to be solved. So that was our task. Next slide, please. We referenced a bunch of different resources for verification methods, as not one was very clear, or there wasn't a specific one that kind of protected the artist, but also allowed the public to be verified. And we weren't sure whether we wanted the public to be verified. Of course, it's not up to us at the end of the day. We can just give solutions. So we're still working at that. I think the one we liked the most was the Twitter verification method. A program called Arweave uses it. It's decentralized storage. They basically get you to send a tweet, and that verifies you. And that was our automated edition. And if we wanted to go manual, we'd refer to the method that Tezos Baking Bad uses currently. Next slide, please. So this was the mock-up we came up with. We gave the user a couple different badge placements and maybe alternate badges if they ever became a thing. I think we settled on number 1, and that was for the profile picture. And then we also wanted the badge to be shown above the object. So when you're scrolling down through the feed, you can tell who's been verified, potentially who's been on the site for a while. I don't know if you want to speak on that, Tagachi.
Nope, I think you covered everything.
Okay, next slide. This is just a quick mock-up of how it would look. That's not the badge we decided on. We're still going to work on that, but we were focusing more on the functionality over the design at the moment. So we'll fix that up tomorrow. Next slide. So these were kind of our ideas of changing the color when it comes to different users. So let's say purple is the collector, yellow is, a collector of a higher rank, et cetera, collector artist, maybe someone that hasn't bought any pieces, right? You have to earn these certain badges. Ranks, yeah, HNS is correct, ranks. Next. I guess this slide was just saying that we're still working on it. It took us hours to really come down to a solution, and we still haven't completely found it. We're digging through our best options. So yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things that we were discussing, and something that we'd like the community feedback on, is how the review process, or how the actual ins and outs of the verification goes on. We had back and forth with whether we are going with automated verifications or whether that requires some sort of a human intervention. So when it comes to human intervention, people need to verify things like, whether this person is an actual creator, whether this person is a legitimate or a buyer, things like that. And we sort of discussed, okay, artists should be like have like 10 objects minted, or if it is a collector, probably, I don't know, 25 Tesos worth of stuff collected to get a badge. And the same way the fountain works on Tesos, like, you know, you have to be active on the social media, and then the account to be at least 30 days and stuff like that. Do you want to add anything?
I see people in the chat are talking about ranks. Of course, we've gone through, like, I'd say 100 is an overstatement, but we've gone through a ton of different solutions. Ranking was just one thing we threw in there. Again, we haven't completely decided, but yeah, I think ranking would kind of ruin the system. I understand it's a public platform and we want everyone to have an equal chance, and that's why we're really stumped on whether we give the verification to the public, people that just confirm their Twitter, or do you have to have a media presence? It's a tough one. I know the title looks simple, but we really struggled with this one.
And I don't think, like, you know, anyone, I mean, it should be open, not like cryptic like Twitter. And at the same time, I mean, I like the idea where Breaking Bad does it, and, you know, Discord channel sort of thing verifies people, you know, voluntary and things like that. And so it creates sort of a scarcity, but doesn't, you know, require people to do that, to do this. It's just to show that this artist is a real artist, not just like a copy minting person.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep at it. We've been at it consistently. I think we took an hour break, but again, this is a hickathon, a marathon, not a sprint. So we're gonna keep trying out options, and also come by, pop into our chat, throw suggestions if you ever think of them. And yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
The suggestions in the chat are actually really great.
All right, awesome.
We're good. Thanks, guys. No worries. I don't know how to get off of here now. I'll sit and wait. I don't know if you kick me off or...
I am.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, guys.
Sorry. Bye.
Bye.
So we have 3 more groups. The next one is about clearing up UX, super necessary. And we have Bruce. No, do we? Is it? Let me actually 994. No, it's Raphael. Good. So I'm actually adding you on stage.
Can everybody hear me? Cool. Okay. So I will share the link again. There you go. So if you can open the Figma, there's an arrow that tells you where to start. Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Oh, left, 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 left. Away, away, no spoilers. Cool. Okay, so yeah, our task was a big UX cleanup with a broom, and we started with we did 3 things. So first the drop-down menu, then the I forgot. So drop-down menu, then the profile, and then the object page. So starting with the drop-down menu, so the goal is to keep everything very simple but understandable. We don't want to get away from the the very bare-bone punk aesthetic of hicetnunc, just to make it slightly more approachable for newcomers. I think that's a big important point that we discussed a lot. So drop down, we have create object, my profile, my collections, 2 categories, then explore objects, which would lead to to the different kind of feeds, the random or HDAO or whatever, with all sorts of sorting or other things that other teams have proposed, help center about hicathnunc, and then the unsync in its separate little category. Then, and yeah, same thing for the mobile. We try to keep the design quite similar on mobile and desktop, so there's no confusion, and if you go from one to the other, you won't get lost. We have had some discussions about the footer, which is there to, it also has the help center, and that's for people who maybe don't discover the drop down and they need some help, so it's there. Then, yes, we also have the dark mode with the little moon icon, which would become a sun icon if you go into dark mode. We don't have a mockup for this, but you can imagine it. Then if you're logged out, you see, so the menu has the sync on top with also like the black highlight. Suppose would be white in the dark mode. Well, same. You can just imagine how it looks inverted. So we have, yeah, a different menu if you're not logged in. Then profile page. So also simplified. With the main difference being that you have the ability to toggle on and off the extra info about the objects. So it by default it looks very, very clean. There's no object number or anything. And if you go to the right, you will see the version where the info has been toggled on, which is which shows the object numbers and the price and the addition numbers. But we try to keep things very, very, very minimalist, and also it's full width. So really content first. Really put the artwork at the center. We still have to redesign the icons for the interactive and so on. So this is something that we want to do next. But yeah, ideally would also not be on top of the artwork, because I really think that it's an important thing that artwork is really has its integrity. And moving next, we have the object page. So if you go to the right, maybe it's not updating. Yeah, okay. Cool. And then object page. I think this one might still be a work in progress, but it's so what do we have? We have the copy object URL, and yeah, I think this one is probably the one that overlaps the most with other teams. So there are things that we will need to integrate. But yeah, next steps, we want to also work on, I said, the identifying the interactive GIF, etc. Something about the landing and onboarding. So these are not done yet, but we have the categories ready. And then the minting flow and possibly activity or notification. This is still a bit unclear. We haven't really brainstormed that. So yeah, that's those are next steps. And we've been really inspired. There was a lot of discussions in the chat already, in the Discord, about the other teams. So yeah, very open to any kind of merge or collaborations with the other UX teams. Thanks.
We have the group 5.4, which is about how to make decisions in a decentralized world. Really tricky question, right? So I'm calling Bruce. So I'm about to put you on stage. Be prepared.
Diane, I think for the first half of this, we need James on stage with the PowerPoint.
Patterson?
Yes.
Pottery?
Yes.
Super. No, pottery. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you.
Hi. So yeah, Diane, can you, the presentation is in the chat also. So yeah, just to move really quickly through like a really deep subject that I know is going to take a lot more conversation. The 5.4 team was focused on the DAO. So how do we govern ourselves, and particularly how do we create systems to vote? The objective that we had was to try to create a type of governance protocol, and then also an interface to try to enable, the community itself to be able to start taking control of its decision making. Next slide. This is an early work in progress protocol. And we know already there's some issues with it, but we really appreciate your feedback. So the idea is that we would create a series of DAOs. And each one would have a requirement to get in. The first one would be a governance DAO. And you would be required to be holding HDAO to participate as a voting member in that governance DAO. And the governance DAO's role would be to make proposals, vote on those proposals, and move them through the process of approval at hicetnunc. And then there would be a treasury DAO. That DAO would consist of members who are holding some amount of HDAO to be determined, but it would be more and there than any. And we would have to figure out what that is, and if it would work with HDAO as well. So we're looking for experts in HDAO to help us think through these things. But members of that treasury DAO, their responsibility is to work with the leadership and the representatives, so the founders and the representatives who are elected, to come up with a quarterly appropriations budget, or maybe a yearly budget, or we would have to figure out the term. And that would be their kind of primary role. And then there would be another group, and to get, there could be ways of having members of the governance DAO delegate or stake together to become and represent, have a single representative in the Treasury DAO as well. And so then there would be a smaller number of elected representatives who represent the community. Maybe they're artists, maybe they're collectors, maybe they're developers, and they would be voted upon, and they would work with the founders to come up with a vision, and to also sort of turn those proposals into a feature requirement document. So they would have technical expertise, design expertise, and they would help manage the relationship with vendors or people who are pursuing bounties for projects. So yeah, I guess on the next slide, I'd love for Bruce to talk a little bit more about the details of this model, or maybe respond to questions if there are any already. Is it hard actually to switch in and out with different presenters? Because maybe we could just finish this quickly, and then Bruce could sort of take over. Okay, why don't we just go to the next slide then? So we've actually started playing around with Homebase to create our own DAOs, and to experiment with how to test this process kind of in theory. Oh, here comes Bruce.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic. Well, as James said, this is a tremendous amount of thinking, but I just want to touch really quickly on the spirit of hicetnunc and what Raphael has been putting out to the community in terms of help to create these labs and create these work groups that'll be able to tackle problems going forward. You know, one of the problems we're hoping to address here is the velocity at which changes can happen and keep the community engaged. So to do that, the governance DAO is made up of the entire community, and it'll be accessible to everybody to be able to generate ideas and vote. But to govern over that, you need to have a treasury, you need to have monies. So we're going to be asking the treasury DAO, which would be made up of holders that have a possibly larger stake in HDAO, to administrate funds so that the governance DAO, which would be made up of the community, would know exactly how much money is there or resources there to make changes. So this is a pathway. This isn't a final product. And the pathway will go back to the founders and the elected representatives to really make the final decision. They choose that they don't want to go forward with something that the governing body has approved, they'll come on board and tell us why, or maybe through a Zoom or some other form. If they did decide to go forward with it, we have a technology group that's a separate DAO that will be set up of the founders and the people that contributed to where we are now. And those individuals will be made up of the group that will ultimately select the vendors. So again, this is a pathway. I want to wrap it up quickly. There's so much more here, but it's to offload a lot of this heavy work that's right now on the founders and the other people that have helped Raphael. We're just starting, we're just crawling, and we definitely like anybody's help in 5.4 over the next couple of days. Oh, and thanks to the entire team. Thanks to Mark, who's not here in Australia. Thanks to Quasi. Thanks to James. Thanks to everybody. They're doing a great job. So again, please join us at 5.4.
Actually about to put on stage for only 1 minute HDAO Maxi, so you can talk about the 5.3, I think. Just putting you on stage now.
I'll do this really quickly. 5.3, the issue, decentralized way, I'll just read it really quick. The centralized solution needed for banning and copy minters. I was thinking about the copy minters mainly, create a document, put some of my ideas there, basically downscaling whatever gets submitted and comparing it to the database. I need someone who can help me with the how do I downscale it, and also how do I even code this in the first place, because the only thing I can code is hello world. So yeah, I think you know where I'm at. I still have some seconds left, so until then, please join me at 5.3. It's going to be a party in Minsk when HDAO reaches 20 XTC, so you're all invited, and that's it. Thanks.
Very efficient, thank you. Okay, so we have 2 announcements. One quick one about the art donations, because it's been an amazing journey. So I'm adding James on stage.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I've been at the swapping station since 2 a.m. this morning, and we are now at around 500 swaps, and there's another 100 that came in after the line, and I'm going to try and get those in too. But I just wanted to kind of go over some of the stuff that's been coming out. So the Tezos Foundation made a really generous 20,000 TES donation to this whole effort, which is just mind-blowing. And then the community has raised a couple of thousand, more than a couple thousand TES on top of that, which even on a bad TES day is a good haul. So it's just incredible to watch this. And I just wanted to kind of point out some of the interesting things that are kind of emerging from this. Artists are donating their artwork to support the community that they've been benefiting from, that they've been, you know, getting involved with, and at the same time making a little bit off their, you know, off their royalty percentage as well. And then there's a sort of different aspect that I'm not sure anyone was expecting, is that it's turned into this really wonderful spotlight on all the different artists' work as well, which has been wonderful to watch, like just seeing all the incredible art that got donated and all the exposure that created as well. So yeah, just really, just it's been so amazing just getting to see it all and interact with everybody. And if you have there have been some stray swaps that didn't make it and glitches and things like that. So if you donated a thing and you've checked out the spreadsheet, which you can see on my Twitter, pinned to my Twitter profile, if anyone's having a problem, just message me and I'll try and get you sorted. I'm going to try and get those last 100 swaps done, you know, tonight. So that's where we're at. Thank you, everyone. That's it for me.
So we have one last amazing news. It's about the bounties. So I'm adding John on stage.
Hi there, can you see me?
John?
Can you hear me? Can you see me, everybody? Hello? Okay. Okay, cool. So I don't want to be long. That's the end of the session. It's been a bit longer, but you know, projects are so interesting that it's hard to cut you, everybody. Okay, I don't want to make it long. I just want to show you really quickly the hackathon bounties, because Mario mentioned them this morning, but I think, you know, it could be interesting that you have this in mind. So let me share my screen. So now I guess you can see my screen and you can see the bounties. So just one thing that is quite important, you know, for today, I know that you filled your project page. Almost everybody, you know, I can see it at 95%, but I saw some person on the stage that are not, you know, on their own project page. So, you know, basically I am here on the, the 5.4, and I can see, you know, I can see all the people involved in the project. This is the only way for us, you know, and for me to be to send you the bounty. So if you didn't, you know, just check it right now, you know, go to your project page, you know, you go in the folder and you go in the project page and you see, hey, am I on this? Okay, I know right now it's 2 Tezos. You can say I don't care, but even for us, you know, it's good to know what's going on and to be sure, you know, that we can follow up with you. So yeah, it will be great to do it. There is one more bounty I would like to talk about because we didn't mention it well this morning. It just, you know, there is a small social media challenge. Basically, you can see it, you know, just here. And the idea is from now and until, you know, tomorrow evening, so in the next 20 hours from now, you can do a tweet using the hashtag #CleanNFT and send any meme that represents for you the hackathon. End of the story, you know. The one with the biggest reach will get 10 Tezos. You know, I think we can start to do it, you know, even from now, and I will do my tweet also right now, and that's it. So just to remember, you know, in the Discord, all the bounties are pinned in the general on the general channel. If you have any question, you know, feel free to ask, and we will be happy to answer. It was okay, not too long. Okay, I don't know if you have any question.
I'm just wondering, can we add the hickathon hashtag as well?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, we forgot about it.
Yeah, so, you know.
Can you add it?
I can definitely add it. So now,
So
you know.
CleanNFT plus hickathon, please.
Exactly. So,
super.
And I post it on the Discord right now, so you can get the update also.
And you can also share all your wallet and everything else with the form. So that's actually 2 ways. We advise you to do both because it's actually going in 2 different directions. But if you actually fill up the form, we then have all the list of wallets, so we can do a mass swap super easily.
Exactly. Of course, yeah, the form is a requirement, and you need to do both.
Nice. Okay, thank you so much. Mikko, I think it's your turn. I'm adding you on stage.
Sorry. Super, so good to see everybody presenting their working groups. Like, it's amazing. I am honestly so amazed. What amazing work. I have no words, like, really. So very, 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 very happy to that 3 hours basically produce so much amazing work, and looking forward to tomorrow. Just to give you some guidance on what will happen tomorrow, we will kick off with another of these live streams at the same time of today, so 2 p.m. Central Europe time and 9 a.m. Brazil time. Actually, we will be starting with a presentation by Arthur Breitman from the Tezos Foundation. Tezos Foundation is also the biggest sponsor of the hackathon. As James said, they donated 20,000 Tez, which is amazing. And he will basically share a presentation on what he does in the Tezos Foundation. He's the founder and CEO, and a little bit about also the development of Tezos as a blockchain, which I think is a good way to start off the day. Maybe we will then kick off with a few work groups that we might have missed. If anybody feels very strongly about presenting, just let us know, and we can kick off with that. And then similar to today, we will kind of like move into our working groups. A lot of working groups got feedback already. Maybe you're going to work on them like later on. Here in Europe, it's kind of late, but I'm sure that in other parts of the world it might be earlier in the day. So feel free to keep hacking if you want to, or not, or rest. And rest is fine. We all need some rest. That's it. So thank you all so much. As I said before, it's a community effort. It's a community hackathon. It really is. So we're all part of it. Every single one of us is a participant as much as any other. So really, really, really big thanks. Super. Have a good rest of the day, evening, and see you tomorrow.
And I'm actually sending you all in the lobby, so if you want to hang out a little bit, you can.